Hi YouTube, this is Isaiah Smith showing you my Odd Eyes deck profile. So, 3 Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragons. What this does is, like, if it's placed in the Pendulum Zone, you can pop it during the end phase. And any battle damage that you take is doubled, so, from your opponents. So your opponent takes double damage. Okay. And then 2 Odd Eyes Phantom Dragons. This can boost up to like 1200, I believe, when it bows if you have another Odd Eyes in your Pendulum Zone. Plus, like, if this inflicts battle damage, you inflict 1200 for each of your Pendulum Odd Eyes in your Pendulum Zones. So, 3 Odd Eyes Phantasma Dragons. This just lets you, like, discard one, and then add a face-up dragon pendulum monster from your extra deck to your hand. Plus, like, you can also place this as a scale 0, or you can just, like, if this is like on the field and it battles a monster, your opponent's monster loses 1000 attack for each pendulum face-up pendulum monster in the extra deck. So that's pretty good. 3 Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragons. This is like a floodgate effect where you just, like, every time it gets popped once per turn, you can special summon from an Odd Eyes from your hand, deck, or graveyard because of the pendulum effect. Otherwise, it just becomes a normal monster when it's summoned. So, 3 Revolution Dragons. You don't have to, like, set this as a scale 12, but you could. In order to summon dragon pendulum monsters, that's the only way you can do it. Or you can just discard this, pay 500, add a level 8 or lower dragon pendulum monster. So it's a good searcher. 3 Odd Eyes Persona Dragon. This is a good negation for, like, any, like, monster that was special summoned from the extra deck. So you can just target it and do that. Plus, it's a good scale 1. So then I have 3 Odd Eyes Mirage Dragons. It's a good scale 8. Plus, like, if it's like, if a face-up Odd Eyes Pendulum monster is destroyed by battle or card effects, you can destroy one card in your Pendulum Zone. Place that Odd Eyes from your face-up extra deck. And then special summon this, I believe. Or no. Probably not special summon, but just place it in that. And then its monster effect is just that you can just use the quick effect to just target one Odd Eyes, and then it is immune to, like, destruction once. So then I have 3 Performapal Celestial Musician. This card, what it does is, like, if it's normal or special summon, you can while you, depending on its effects, so let's just say fusion, attack directly, synchro, yeah, your opponent can't activate monster effects. Exceeds just doubles its attack. For pendulum effect, if you have a pendulum monster, you get to add a pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. So that's a very, very good card when it's normal or special summon. And then it's a good scale 8. So 3 Performapal Golbat Joker. When it's normal summon, you can add 1 Odd Eyes Musician or, like, pendulum monster that is a Performapal, or just a Performapal in general. And you don't have to set the scale for this. You can just normal summon it. It's good for Xyz plays too. Okay. One Odd Eyes Dissolver, one Odd Eyes Synchron, and one Janky Musician. So, Performapal Odd Eyes Dissolver lets you contact fusion or fusion summon from your hand or field. And depending on that, and it can also fuse from your pendulum zone. So, Performapal Odd Eyes Synchron just targets a, well, basically, if it's on the scale, you can target one Odd Eyes or Performapal, it becomes level 1 and it becomes a tuner. Or you can normal summon this and target a pendulum zone and then special summon it, and then it becomes a synchro material to synchro summon. And then Janky Musician, you can just set the scale for this and then target one Xyz monster and then change its rank into a level, and then it pretty much becomes that level. And then you can Xyz summon with it, or you can not normal summon. You can summon this card, Janky Musician, and target a light monster on the field and negate its effects during either player's turn. So those are good cards, I guess. Moving on with the spells. 3 Sky Iris. It always protects your Performapal Musician or Odd Eyes in your pendulum zones. Plus you can pop one on the field and add an Odd Eyes from your deck to your hand. 3 Spiral Flame Strikes. Add a level 7 Odd Eyes from your extra deck or deck, or destroy one card on the field. So by targeting it. So, and then 2 Duelist Alliance lets you add your pendulum monster / pendulum in the name, or pendulum spell or trap. So that's also good. I only play 2 of those. 2 Pendulum Impenetrable. In case if anybody targets my cards and destroys them, you can negate the target effects or prevent it from being destroyed. That's protection. And 1 Odd Eyes Fusion. Basically for any like dragon fusion type monster, and if you use like pendulum monsters, you can do that. Or if like you or opponent controls 2 or more, you can send up to 2 Odd Eyes from your extra deck and fusion summon. So it's like kind of like a contact fusion or a miracle fusion. Alright. Moving on to the extra deck. I'm playing 2 Odd Eyes Vortex Dragons. I was going to play Starving Venom, but that's not really necessary to play that card, so... Or it's not relevant to even play that card, because that's good for, like, branded, maybe. But what this does, Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon, it just shuffle 1 Pendulum monster from your deck. And then, when this is summoned, you can target 1 attack resistant monster, special summon it. And then, basically all it needs is an Odd Eyes plus a Pendulum monster. So, that's how you summon it. And then, once when you shuffle a Pendulum monster from your deck, extra deck, you can negate and destroy the effect that when your opponent activates a card or effect, so it gets negated and destroyed. And then synchros, 1 Cyberse Quantum Dragon and 1 Odd Eyes Meteorburst Dragon. Quantum, if you have a link monster, you can basically cannot target or attack any of my monsters, or your monsters, I mean. And your opponent can't do that. Plus, like, if this gets targeted by an attack, you can return it back to your opponent's monster that battled Quantum and return it back to the hand. Meteor Burst, all it does is like basically just needs like when this is special summoned, it basically can target a pendulum zone and then special summon it from the field. And then during the battle phase, your opponent cannot activate monster effects, so it's kind of like Chaos Giant in a way. Plus, like, it just needs one or more tuner for both of these, so it's easy to summon. Now, let's go on to the Xyz. 2 Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. This is good for like a Utopia effect to just detach 1 to negate the attack when a monster declares an attack. Plus, like if it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon a Odd Eyes from your extra deck if it's sent to the grave. So it's a good like combo piece, and like you can special summon any Odd Eyes from your extra deck pretty much. So it's like a Contact or a Miracle in a way. 1 Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon and 2 Odd Eyes Raging Dragons. Odd Eyes Rebellion Dragon I just use it as material. I don't use the effects that much. Plus, like, it can attack up to like 3 times, because if you have an Xyz monster as a material, it can do that. Plus, like, if I Pendulum Summon this, if I have, pretty much I can Pendulum Summon this, or if I have a level 7 Pendulum monster, I can also Pendulum Summon it as well. So it doesn't matter if it has a rank, it will still be Pendulum Summoned. And then with Janky Magician's effects, I can change this rank into a level, or Odd Eyes Absolute Dragons of rank into a level. Sorry about that. And then overlay it with Rebellion or Odd Eyes Raging Dragon. And Odd Eyes Raging Dragon does the exact same thing as Rebellion Dragon, except instead of like, because it has an Xyz monster as material, instead of doing that, you can detach 1, destroy your opponent's field, so it pops everything, and it gains 200 attack for each card destroyed. Plus it can attack twice, so that's why I have 2 of these, because it's also good. And now, moving on to the last cards, and these are the Link monsters. Triple Beyond the Pendulum. You want to add your Pendulum monsters for this by paying 1200. Plus, you can't activate monster effects unless you Pendulum Summon. And if you Pendulum Summon 2 monsters with the original level that's the same, you can target up to 2, or target 2 cards and destroy them. So, not up to 2, but target 2. 1 Saryuja Skull Dread and 1 Borlo Dragon. Saryuja, what it does is, like, if you use like 4 materials with different names, you can draw 4 cards and then return like 3 cards to the bottom of your deck from your hand in any order. And then you can special summon 1 monster from your hand, and then it gains 300. Borlo Dragon, what it does, if it attacks your opponent's monster, you can take control of it instead of like battling it. And its other like quick effect is that your opponent's monster loses like 500 if you target that card. So it's like a quick effect. And then also whenever this card points to, it will get destroyed during like the end phase. My last card is 5-headed.
said he
So
just got it today, but that replacement cost me $17, so now I have to go get another money order now. I don't want to send it through the mail.
and then what I was saying before is that I have a 5-headed link dragon. Basically what this does is like it's unaffected by monster effects and or card effects, and it can't be destroyed by battle except a light monster. Plus it needs like 5 materials. And during your opponent's end phase, it gets you can banish like the top, or not the top. You can banish 5 cards face down. So, and then it's not optional, because if you don't send 5 cards, it's at like the last bit of cards you have in your grave, it will be sent to the grave. So I hope this video was helpful for Odd Eyes players, and I'll see you in the next video, so take care.